As a mother, I would do anything I could to help my child live a normal life, and I'm sure you would too. But what if you couldn't do anything? What if you were totally helpless? That's the situation for hundreds and thousands of parents in developing countries whose children are born with cleft lip or cleft palate. In the United States, these deformities are corrected shortly after birth, but in many countries around the world, these children are left untreated and are shunned. I'm in Lilloy Hospital. The volunteer Operation Smile medical team has come from all over the world to perform surgeries, and parents have brought their children here, hoping that they'll be selected. This little guy's name is Sun. He's 2 years old. He was born with both a cleft lip and a cleft palate, which is an opening in the roof of his mouth. His mom is very worried. Sun has difficulty eating and often chokes on his food. They don't have enough money for rice, much less to afford this surgery. She never ever thought he might have this chance. She says she wants him to be handsome. The hardest part is Operation Smile can't possibly operate on all these children this week. More than 500 kids have come here for screening, most of them from miles and miles away, but we'll only be able to help about 100 children this trip. This is the day everyone's been waiting for. Hundreds of families have been gathered here in the hot sun since very early this morning, after having spent the last 2 nights on the floor in the hospital. They're hoping and praying to hear their child's name called, to hear that they've been selected for surgery. They've been calling out children's names for over an hour now, and the families that haven't been called are getting worried. You can feel the tension and anxiety in the air. There's our little guy's son. His mum must be so relieved. Now he'll have his chance to be normal, just like all the other boys in the village. That's it. No more names to be called. They've also posted the list, so now the parents are double checking, hoping against hope that they missed hearing their name called. Witnessing the process of selection here, I found myself drawn to the faces of the mothers. As a mother myself, I was deeply impacted, first by the anxiety and the anticipation and the hope of having come this far and hoping that their child's name would be called, and then to see the disappointment and the heartache when the names were not called. Knowing that what stands between your name being called out or not being called out is a question of money. It seems rather simple then that I should stand here and ask you to look into your heart and to do something to help us, to help them. Because together we can make miracles happen. Sun is getting ready to go into surgery now. Of all the moms I've met here, I feel truly connected to Sun's mother. Even though we don't speak the same language, she's so expressive and she wears her heart on her sleeve.
It's going to be so beautiful when you get in there.
Operation Smile goes to great lengths to ensure safety in the operating room. Everything is brought in, from the equipment for the anesthesia and the monitors to all the sutures and supplies. Oh my goodness, it really is one of the most beautiful things that I've ever experienced next to the birth of my daughter, to see his little face restored. You know, the next amazing thing will be when we bring his mother in. She was so worried about him outside. You can only imagine how anxious she must be to be reunited with him. As a mother myself, I'm like in major identification with her at this point. It's all I can do, not just to, you know, run out there and drag her in, but they have to wait for the baby to recover a wee bit from the operation. Isn't he beautiful? Would you sit down and I'll give him time? There. Okay.
It is unbelievable that this day has come. Because we are poor, we cannot even dream of this day. This is the happiest day of our lives. My precious boy, now you will be handsome. You won't be different anymore.
The most important thing that the everyday person can do is just share a little bit of your heart. Your heart has to feel it first. And then you can say to yourself, what if I just gave up lunch tomorrow and gave those dollars to some kid who didn't have a chance at life? Then you become as important a part of this team as I am or any other surgeon. Because of you, we've been able to change the life of some child somewhere who may never know your name, but will never forget your kindness.